All right. G'day guys. Let's talk about COVID and what COVID's done to the working world now. So, the whole COVID situation has been pretty interesting. We're fortunate, being Australians and sane, that we've managed to handle the situation fairly well and we only have a limited number of cases. But that obviously isn't correct of a lot of other countries. But what I think is interesting is the way it's changed the nature of work and business. So let's look at a few of the key changes that I think have been made in society and work after COVID. As always, I'd love you to subscribe to this channel if you get any value out of it. Feel free to post comments about your thoughts on COVID and work, and I'll respond to them, and let's get moving. So, the first thing. Bricks and mortar retail conceptually is dead and needs to change. I've been banging on about this since literally, since I was chubby little 95 kilo junior banker Nick. The concept of malls in their current form is dead. It's gone. We're just watching the slow decline until they finally realize the jig is up. Malls in the future, not even to do with COVID, in the future, need to be conceptual experiences. You start seeing that with some high-end shopping centers now. You go there, there's a small amount of stock in the store, but the physical store itself tells you the story of the brand and gets you hyped for it. They might not even actually sell you anything. You might still buy online, but it allows you to relate to the brand. Because the thing is now, everything is about brand. It's this weird postmodern phenomenon where people buy things because they fall in love with the story of the brand, not really because of the product itself. So if you think about it, the difference between this fabulous leopard shirt and my 10 other fabulous leopard shirts really isn't very much. The only reason I wear this one is I really like the particular brand, right? So people get behind the story. This is applicable for most things. What's the difference between Doc Martens and Bluntstone boots? There's not much besides style and brand. The main thing you're looking for now is to tell a story to your audience. So when you look at malls and stores within malls, they need to just be generating their own brand experience. On the back of this is the way that traditional retail has pivoted to e-commerce, and we've been seeing this for years. Most people now do a majority of their shopping for discretionary goods and groceries online. That move's not going to stop, and COVID only accelerated it. I don't know if this is just like a Gen Y thing. Am I a Gen Y? I'm not a millennial. I think I'm a Gen Y. I'm 34, is that a Gen Y? Anyway, I prefer to buy stuff online than go to the shops because I can literally look it up and it just appears. I don't have to try to park, I don't have to deal with the commoners and the general public, the shit's never in stock, there's people everywhere, it's hot. I don't want to do any of that. The only times I will go to a shopping center is if it's incredibly urgent and I've fucked up and forgotten to order it, or it's some weird bespoke item like a suit that I have to try on. So the move to e-commerce is happening. Traditional brick and mortar retail is dead as we know it. People need to move on from it. The second thing is working arrangements with COVID. The fact that people haven't been allowed, if their role allows it, to just work from home most of the time is a giant piece of boomer idiocy. There's no reason why you can't just work at home with an internet connection for a lot of jobs. Obviously, if you're direct customer facing or you're a doctor or you actually have to talk to people face to face or you build stuff, you can't. But a lot of white collar professions just work at home. The second benefit of this is you can have smaller offices and smaller spaces, so lower rent for companies. Then if you have to go in the office, just schedule it one day a week when your team gets together. Or if you have to have a meeting, just schedule a desk. Holding traditional large desk space in offices does not make sense in 2020. Now, I'll hear some arguments about productivity benefits and collaboration benefits, and I think they're valid. Working together in person does create new ideas and help, but you don't need to every day. If I literally just have to write a report and email it to someone, there's no reason for me to drive 45 minutes to sit somewhere to drive back. I'm glad that COVID has actually pushed forward the work from home because that does so much for travel costs, people's spare time, the amount of time they have to do other things like go to the gym or see their families, rental costs, pollution. There's so many benefits to it. The only thing is that Zoom and WebEx are still kind of sketchy. If we can make them better, it'll be incredible. The other interesting thing that COVID's done with work and the economy is it's really created this two-speed economy you can see. What I've noticed with talking to people and going about the place during COVID, and even reading online globally, is there's a group of people, particularly in the service sector, who've been hit really hard. And there's another group of people who haven't been hit at all and are in fact probably better off because they can't travel, so they're not blowing 20 grand a year on a holiday. This has created a really interesting effect where you have a lot of people with way more cash and a lot of people with way less cash. Furthermore, you've got governments printing cash to keep the economy flowing. So this is what's pushed up a lot of stock and real estate prices. There's just so much cash floating around that people with the knowledge of how to invest it are just pumping it into markets. The other thing with that is a lot of people are staying home more. So they've got cash, they're bored, they're seeing people make money on social media, they're jumping into investing. I think this is a big factor in the current volatility in investment markets, that people are just playing the market like they're at the casino or on their PS5. And I think that's dangerous because a lot of stocks have just lost any binding to their fundamental position they're in, and people are just trading off hype. And it's going to crash, and then everyone's going to freak the fuck out like they always do. My final interesting point, and somewhat controversial point with the whole COVID situation, has been it's really been interesting to see how communication bubbles in social media have resulted in whole separate thought groups in regards to COVID. Like there's literally more than 250,000 people dead from COVID, and there's a whole group of people that actually don't think it's real. And because of the way algorithms are structured within social media, you're only pushed content that you're likely to interact with, which means that you're only pushing stuff within your thought bubble. Have you ever wondered why? Because you hate soccer, you never see a soccer post on your Instagram or Facebook. It's because Facebook knows you'd go, soccer, I'm not a loser, I'm not watching this, and disengage. So it only pumps things that cause outrage, excitement, or a reaction. There's actually a really good book called Trust Me, I'm Lying by Ryan Holiday, which explains how modern communication, blogging, and social media fuels this cycle. It's actually also a really big social problem we have, that we're not arguing over opinions on facts, whether something's good or bad. We're arguing over two completely separate set of facts that we don't even agree are real. How can we reach outcomes and agree and move forward if we don't even agree on the basal facts? This is literally like arguing, is this water wet? No, it's not, and trying to move forward from there. So anyway, that's my rant on life, careers, and investing and COVID. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe. If you didn't like it, feel free to comment so I can make fun of you. Speak to you soon.